know you love fantasy, but these 5 science fiction RPGs are totally worth skipping D&D night for. Hey there, adventurers. Welcome back to Short Rest Studios. I'm Judd, and I'm scouting out the best the TTRPG world has to offer, so you don't have to quest alone. And the sci-fi games on this list range from old school to crunchy and dark to bonkers. I guarantee you won't regret skipping a D&D session to play one of these, and you might just find a new favorite. Starting off the countdown at number 5, Mutant Crawl Classics. MCC is Goodman Games' reimagining, maybe reboot is a better word, of the classic TSR game Gamma World. It's set in a post-apocalyptic futurescape peopled by wasteland wanderers, shamans, and of course, mutants. Civilization collapsed thousands of years ago, leaving a world of monsters, radiation, and ancient technology so advanced it looks like magic to these primitive people. MCC is, as if the title didn't give it away, built on the Dungeon Crawl Classics system. It is its own standalone game, fast and easy to learn, and also completely compatible with its pulp fantasy big brother. Yes, it's got the zero-level funnel, burning luck, and mutant post-apocalyptic variations on the gonzo chaos DCC fans like me know and love. Each character has a genotype: pure strain human, mutant, manimal, or plantient. That's a sentient plant. True to the game's DCC heritage, pure strain humans choose a class like Sentinel, Shaman, Healer, or Rover at level 1. For the rest, your genotype is your class. Combat is swingy and chaotic, complete with the crit and fumble tables that make DCC so crazy. Characters become more mutated over time. You can discover ancient artifacts, including everyday items with crazy super science names. And MCC even includes optional rules for bringing DCC characters across the multiverse into MCC and vice versa. The Dungeon Crawl Classics rules work so well for this setting, it's pretty much a perfect interpretation of the mutant post-apocalypse genre. Coming in at number 4, Coriolis, the Great Dark. This is a space opera inspired by the expeditions of 19th century explorers, deep sea diving, and pulp archaeology. In a place known as the Lost Horizon, most of the human population lives in Ship City, a space station built out of an asteroid and the hulls of spacecraft. The only way out of the star system is a phenomenon known as the slipstream, which you can travel aboard a great ship. From your home base on Ship City, you can go on dangerous expeditions, navigate factional intrigue, and discover the mysteries of the Lost Horizon. Your characters explore the millennia-old ruins of the Builders, where they encounter the Blight, a cosmic force that creates horrors for you to face, and will also do direct harm to you. Coriolis the Great Dark is built on Free League's Year Zero engine. Character creation is quick and flavorful. The game uses a D6 dice pool system. You're shooting for 6s. You can push rolls, which can of course come with a cost depending on how many 1s you roll. But the Great Dark does bring some of its own mechanics to the Year Zero engine, specifically the mechanics for delves, exploring ruins. Delves are designed to feel like spelunking. There are 5 roles party members can take on, which give them special maneuvers and particular ways they're involved in the movement of the expedition. And the game provides some nice delve building tools to help GMs create and even expand on the structure of the expeditions. Coriolis the Great Dark is a space opera, but its dark, dangerous themes and unique focus on exploration make it a must-play. Taking the number 3 spot, Traveler. Spaceports, ancient civilizations, swords, lasers, distant worlds, monstrous aliens. Traveler is a far future sandbox of space opera tropes, and that's a good thing. But Traveler is also weirdly hard sci-fi. This game is a classic. It's been around since 1977, and it is full-on space opera. But just like the original iteration of Dungeons & Dragons, it grew out of war games, and like those war games, it's also full-on simulationist. The original edition of the game had you use actual equations for space travel. For real. Traveler 2E, the current edition, takes that aesthetic and updates it for modern gamers. There are no more orbital mechanics, but it's still incredibly granular and procedural, just like the 1970s original. There are rules and stat blocks for just about everything. Traveler uses a skill-based 2d6 system with a boatload of situational modifiers, and the skills include things like admin, leadership, military tactics, and physics. You roll task checks when you're in danger or when the task is especially difficult or you're under a deadline, and those tasks can turn into task chains so that the success or failure of each check affects the next one in the chain. I liken Traveler to a mashup of Star Wars and Star Trek, fantastical space opera adventure with a crunchy hard SF center. Before we continue, I've got to give an honorable mention to some indie sci-fi games I believe you're absolutely gonna love too. White Star is a classic sci-fi take on the swords and wizardry white box, where you can play a noble Star Knight, a hotshot pilot, or an alien mystic in a universe of advanced tech, swordplay, laser weapons, and space combat. Death is the New Pink is an insanely bizarre post-apocalyptic twist on the Into the Odd system. You play meatbags wandering the filthy streets of Scratchtown or traveling the wasteland on souped-up hot rods in a world inspired by Tank Girl, Judge Dredd, Fallout, Borderlands, and Mad Max. Grok is set in an irradiated world that was once a bastion of advanced technomancy, but is now filled with feral monstrosities, floating cities, and a derelict space station that encapsulates the whole planet. Every action is resolved the same way, and every outcome matters. And the PDF is only $1 right now on DriveThruRPG. Eclipse Phase is a post-apocalyptic sci-fi horror game where people reshape their minds and bodies through technology. You're part of a conspiracy known as the Firewall, with the goal of protecting transhumanity from a wild array of threats. Scum and Villainy is a Forged in the Dark game where you play a crew trying to make ends meet in a galaxy ruled by an iron-fisted hegemony. Think Firefly. It's more focused on mystery and pulpy adventure than Blades in the Dark, but it's still violent and cynical. In the runner-up spot, it's Stars Without Number. In a far-flung future where humanity's vast interstellar empire has collapsed, human-colonized worlds isolated from each other for hundreds of years are just beginning to reach out again. That's the setting for Stars Without Number, a perfect bridge between old school and modern gaming in a sci-fi sandbox. First off, Stars Without Number's combat uses the familiar D20 roll. It's almost identical to combat in D&D with a few quirks of its own. But like Traveler, Stars uses a 2d6 roll for skill checks outside of combat. That might sound like a weird hybrid, but it achieves something pretty unique. A 2d6 roll for skills means you're most likely to get a 7, and that gives skill checks a certain consistency. You can be pretty confident in your character's skills. But using the d20 for combat means swinginess and unpredictability. Fights will always be random and scary. And combat in Stars Without Number is brutal. Don't get into a fight unless you have to or you know you can win. There are also mechanics for starship combat that keep all the players involved. One pilots the ship, one fires the guns, without overwhelming you with crunch. But the biggest standout is the game's world-building tools. Stars gives GMs a step-by-step process complete with random tables, my favorite, to build out a hex map of a sector of space. The placement of star systems and planets in each system are random, and then you generate physical details for each world, and every planet gets 2 tags that give it a theme. For example, a planet could be governed entirely by mega corporations. Old school vibes, a unique combination of mechanics, and fantastic procedures make Stars Without Number a blast. Topping the countdown at number 1, Lancer. If you remember old school Robotech with fondness, or you're a Gundam fan, you've probably daydreamed about being an elite mech pilot 15,000 years in the future. And that's exactly what you get to be in Lancer, liberating the oppressed with your giant robot suit. Lancer's setting is massive. Interstellar empires, corporate states, uncanny phenomena, and its unique mix of tactical combat and rules-light narrative play means you can play through military campaigns or explore the galaxy. Characters in Lancer progress through license levels from 0 to 12. They have a background for narrative context and some broad skills, and in mech combat they have hull, agility, systems, and engineering skills, and leveling up allows you to improve or even reallocate your skills. It's kind of like adding a narrative layer to your BattleTech game. Anything you want to do outside of mech combat takes a 10 or above on a d20 roll. It keeps things mechanically simple so you can focus on story. Combat, though, is more complex, depending on the number of actions you can take, the amount of damage your particular weapon does, things like that. It's a super crunchy chess match of fast, massive warriors with super cool weapons, and I love it. But the reason Lancer makes me feel like a kid again? The sheer variety of mechs that you can pilot. There are 30 to choose from, ranging from 9 to 45 feet tall. They can have 2 or up to 6 legs. They might have organic parts or be able to teleport. And the weapons range from railguns to mines to axes and swords. How could that not be fun? Adventurers, those are 5 sci-fi TTRPGs I guarantee you won't mind skipping D&D night for. I'd love to hear what you think about these games. What grabbed you? What sci-fi games do you love? Let me know in the comments. And if you dig this kind of content and you want more of it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And please consider becoming part of the Adventurers Guild at patreon.com/shortreststudios or by hitting the join button right under this video. You can get a great library of dice and logos maps, access to my campaign notes, and even the opportunity to help me decide what games I talk about next. So sci-fi is cool, but what if you're really all in on fantasy? In this video, I show you 10 epic fantasy RPGs with way cooler mechanics than D&D. I'll see you on the next short rest, and remember, you don't have to quest alone.